To get to the multi-track view, there's a few different things you can do. You can click on this button here. It'll prompt you for a new multi-track session. And same thing, you can label it what you want to, where you want the folder to be saved to, or you can go to File, New, and Multi-Track Session. There are templates you can go by. So if you want to go by one of the templates, Adobe Audition has the option to use one of theirs or actually save a custom one. But these are pretty useful if you want to use one of the starting points. And what they do essentially is have built-in compression and EQ already on the tracks for you. But I just chose a blank session. So we have the same tools as we did before with the stop, play, record, zoom in. You also have a new one here on the right side because it's multiple tracks. Things can get a little lost, so you can crunch down everything visually so you can see everything within one window. And you can always add more tracks by just dragging new audio files into the session. It'll create new tracks. I'll bring in our demo recording and just drag it into our workstation here. So, like before, we have various tools at the top. Now, on top of the regular move tool, our selection tool, we have a move tool. You can move our audio around. You have a razor blade tool, and there's a lot of shortcuts to memorize. I don't expect you to do this immediately, but it saves you time to do this in the long run. R is for your razor. And if you have multiple audio files, I'll just bring in our music that we had before. So if we have multiple tracks, let's say we did a recording with a band, we have, drums, snares, guitars, all that. You may have multiple things overlapping. There may be a troublesome area that we want to remove or make a cut to all of the files. Rather than using the razor tool and selecting individual audio, we can select everything down the same line. So if I just use this currently, it's only going to make a slice in this one piece of audio. However, if I press the R key again or hold down the razor icon, I can choose Razor All Clips tool. And what that does, it'll make a slice in all the audio files underneath. So let me undo this again. So the shortcut is R. If I just have the regular razor selected, it's just going to make a cut in just whatever I'm hovering over. But if I press R again, see now it looks like a double razor icon. That allows me to make a slice in all the audio files in that selected area. Next, you have your slip tool. So what this will do is move the audio within this selection. So you'll see as I drag this over, the length of my audio file hasn't gotten any larger. Let me zoom out a little bit. Keep that all within frame. Okay. The length of the audio hasn't changed, but I'm shifting over all the audio that was within this recording within the bounds of this audio file here. So remember, I trimmed off the end of this, so it's really a really long audio file. But if I, for whatever reason, wanted to shift this over, I can do that. But it's not moving the actual location, it's moving the audio file within the bounds of the left and right of this framing. I don't honestly use this tool that much. You may use it for your own personal projects, but when it came to podcast editing, it's not something you'd use that often. Next is your time selection tool, which we used before. It just literally makes a selection of whatever area. So those are the main essential tools you'll probably use in this window. Again, you have your move tool here. We can drag around. Now, moving right along. Within each track, there's a variety of buttons, and here's what they all do. So you have a inputs and outputs tab, and that allows you to route your signal from your microphones. So if you're using different microphones for different setups, if I had a audio device that allowed me to record 32 tracks or something, I'm recording a drum set and a piano and all this, and I'm routing to different microphones, I can change the routing within the setting here. Next to that is the effects. Here's where I can apply reverbs, delays, echoes, compression, EQ, all the fun little tools that you hear throughout music production. Again, in podcasting, you're not going to worry about too many things other than EQ, noise reduction, and compression. Those are going to be the main fundamentals you'll probably use, unless you're doing something like sound design in a podcast.